welcome, hello strangers with that good coffee flavor for you. How y'all doing tonight? I am sick, so just a heads up. Real quick, I'll try to keep any annoyances to a minimum, but you may want to smack me. So anyway, here's Windblade. I got him the other day in the mail from TransFan2's Shop and Look, who got them in stock last week. Windblade herself comes in the package, obviously with her instructions, and a comic with a special cover, and it is just another episode of Dark Cybertron, which is not bad. So yeah, the figure itself, she's a black jet. She was designed by committee on the fans poll on Hasbro's website. And overall, I like the basic design of the jet mode. It's kind of a neat jet with these turbines in the wings, and the turbines do actually rotate up forward, which is kind of cool. And the inner pieces do spin. They're actually angled. You might be able to get them to spin on them if you blow on them hard enough. I have not been able to do that, but they look like that could be conceivable if you were trying to do so. It's got a little landing gear under here, and a couple back here, and then there's sword stores underneath here. And I like how there's even like a little blade, like a fan in the hilt of the sword, which is kind of neat. Looking from the top, you can see she is very hollow. The jet mode is, like I said, I like the basic design of the jet. The toy itself is very fiddly. It's very going into jet mode is very much a pain in the patoot. Getting everything lined up right and everything snapped and joints twisted and plugging everything in. It's a very fiddly mess. You can see this doesn't even really want to stay on very well. This little piece right here up at the front of the jet. And it's hollow, and especially if you take the sword out. You see that there's just a lot of weird, like this doesn't lock down. It would benefit a lot from a lot more some more solid locking tabs or any locking tabs at all in a couple of places. But yeah, so the base design is really cool. The execution is kind of disappointing, and I'm a little upset. I'm not mad or anything, but I think it could have been better. And I wish it had been better. Transforming to robot mode. Go ahead and unpeg this little blade right here from the slot in the back here, and then flip this piece up, fold that up like that. And also her hands are tabbed on to these little tabs right here, so untab the arms and then flip that up. Just like that. And then the arms come down. I'm kind of going to pull these upper curved pieces out. Flip this nose cone down like that. And then the arms, or the shoulders are right here. You kind of lift them up around on the swivel. And you want to make sure that swivel comes all the way up. Oh, we have to get the head out first. Okay. So then flip the whole chest forward, flip her head out. There we go. And then the shoulder will come all the way up into the body here. And again, it'll fit in there. It doesn't lock anyway. It just kind of snaps into place. So when you're posing, or if you're trying to pose the wings or whatever, a lot of times these will come loose because there's no. You feel it kind of click into place, but there's nothing that really locks it in there. So both the shoulders are very unattached up here, which is kind of disappointing. The lower waist spins around like this. Bring your arms down, flip her shoulder pads up like that. So you split the legs right here. They just tab together right here at the very, very bottom. And then the fins actually rotate around to the back. And then this piece comes down to form the heel of her foot. And again, does not lock into place. You flip this around like that. Like this. Bring this around. Flip that down. So this doesn't lock into place. It flips forward. So when you bring the front of the shin down to form the leg. So this sticks out the back, and then here's her foot and her heel, which actually does a pretty decent job of supporting her as long as the heel doesn't collapse as you're moving her around. And it's very easy, as you're trying to pose her and putting her down, that this heel is going to end up sliding back up into the foot, and it's very annoying. And then when it gets up in there, it's hard to get out. It's not super hard, you just have to lift it up, but it's an annoyance. So if you get her to stand upright, if you make sure, check her from the side and have her heels down, her heels will support her fairly well. Make sure her feet are flat on the ground. And you see she can stand actually pretty decently, even with the wings on her back, which we'll get to in a minute. But it's so easy when you're moving her around to just push that heel in and have her collapse. And again, if they just snapped into place, wouldn't be a problem, which is every issue I have with her. If things just snapped into place a little better, it wouldn't be a problem. So here, again, this hinge right here, the wings are supposed to, and they come tilted up like this. This also rotates on a hinge, but if you see in relation to the shoulder here, it kind of comes down at a straight angle, and the wing should actually be, hinge right here, the wing should actually be tilted up a notch, and it's very difficult on the one side, and maybe that may not be the case on all of them. But again, getting that to transform without messing up everything else you've already done is a bit of a pain. And then over here, there we go. And then these pieces just kind of flip away wherever. Or you can fold them. You can fold them behind her head as well. So bring her arms down, and then the wings. Now they come packaged, and all the instructions show the wings just sticking off to the side like that. But there are hinges right here. You can actually fold the wings at an angle back along her back, just to give you an idea. So they don't have to stick straight out to the side. Granted, if you fold them all the way back, they didn't stick straight off her back. But if you just want to have them not quite have such an impact on the silhouette in robot mode, you can angle them back a little bit. I think it looks a little better angled back a little bit. Just get them out of the way a little. And there's Windblade in robot mode. Now she does have this little removable. Her hair comb can come out. This little golden piece right here, you have to pull straight back out of her head. It's kind of a tabbed in. See, there's an angle tab there that tabs into the back of her head, and she can hold that in her hand as like a kind of a little fan blade. Kinda. I don't use that often, but it is possible to do that. And then her sword, and again, it's another one of those. This would be a neat feature if it really worked properly. You can take her sheath, or scabbard, I guess, for the sword. Get her to stand here. Heels. And it actually is a pretty clever use of, whenever you see like a swivel joint, there's always that little slot, just to make them fit on all the toys. And it's got tabs on either side, so you can attach it to either hip here. You can see these two tabs here. And it just tabs into the slot that the swivel uses. So it finds a nice function for that versus just having it there for design purposes, because like every swivel joint on just about everything I've ever known has had some sort of little slot there, especially on any retail release toy. So you can put the scabbard on her. It does stick out quite a bit from the back, but it can store it. And again, like I said, you can store it over here, or you can store it over here, which is neat. And then you pull out, and inside is kind of a cool. I wish they got it to like a kind of gradation of the purple on the clear plastic, and I wish they had made it a little bit more of a slow fade versus a quick fade here at the end. I would have liked it if it were stronger purple here and slowly faded out down the blade versus kind of being purple, quick fade to clear. But all in all, it's a neat looking sword. I do really like this sword. Like I said, the scabbard's a little overlarge and awkward, and it doesn't really stay pegged in very well. Again, if it locked in, but I do give it props for, again, using that slot. But the sword itself is actually really cool and fits in her hand, just like that. And it's just a real quick, relevant size comparison. Here she is with the Armada Starscream. And you can see, like, she is just slightly shorter. And I feel like she's slightly shorter at the head, and, like, if you take away the wings, she is a little slighter of stature than Starscream, which really kind of matches, at least so far, what I've seen from the comics. I don't know if there's any sort of official scale chart. But it seems like she goes really well with this Armada Starscream, who's kind of her main antagonist in the Windblade miniseries that we've gotten so far. Because Starscream's in charge of Cybertron, and she is the speaker for Metroplex in the new series. If you haven't been reading that, so there's a neat dynamic between them, and like the comic's really good. Character-wise, I really like Windblade. Figure-wise, if you really like the character, she's worth picking up. If you've never read the comics and don't have any attachment to Windblade, I don't know if it's really worth picking her up, because there's some neat stuff going on there, but there's so many frustrating bits throughout the process that I don't know if I can say, yes, buy this, it's worth your money. Like I said, as a fan of the character, I'm happy that I have a representation of her on the shelf, and the toy itself isn't super bad. Like I said, there's plenty of good stuff along with the bad stuff. If they made it so things locked together a little better in both modes, I'd have no problem saying this is a pretty fun toy with a couple of minor, like I said, the wings are a little biggish on her, but that's really more of a design issue than anything else. Like I said, I'd say worthy toy, pick it up. Without the locking mechanisms and with just all the loose bits on her, it's kind of a buy it if you care about the character, but otherwise maybe find a character you care more about and pick up a toy for that instead, because this one's not going to wow you. But yeah, it's like I said, visually it's a nice representation of the character. Physically, it's kind of a frustrating toy. So there it is. There is Windblade from Transformers Generations and from the Windblade comic book.